You're listening to the How to Talk to Girls podcast with your dating coach, Trip, from tripadvice.com. Do you struggle with getting girls to like you? Well, you're going to learn step-by-step how to talk to girls to create deep connections and meet the woman of your dreams. Here's your host, me, Trip. Hello and welcome to the How to Talk to Girls podcast. This is your host, Trip, from tripadvice.com. And we got an interesting episode today, something that I have yet to talk about on all of my podcasts, over 150 episodes up until this point. And before I get into that, I want to announce something that I talked about on last week's podcast that a lot of you have not heard of yet. And yes, I'm talking to you who is listening. I'm announcing my brand new program called Hooked. And this is a program, a video course teaching you how to get girls hooked on you. Now, this program is something that I've been technically working on for the past about 8-9 years. It's everything that I have learned up until this point on how to get women attracted to you. And yes, even those women that are out of your league. So if you are shy, if you feel that you have a hard time getting women attracted to you or texting you back or paying attention to you, or you don't know what to say, or you've been listening to these podcasts and you have ideas of what to do, but you're not sure how to put it all into a step-by-step system, then you should check out Hooked, because Hooked is exactly that. It's for guys who don't know how to build attraction and can't get women who are interested in them. And this is beyond that. This is not just getting women interested in you, but I'm teaching how to get women practically addicted to you. Women that will want you to have sex with them, want you to talk to them, want you to come up and approach them, and I'm giving you all the tools on how to do it. So check out getherhooked.com, and on that page you're going to watch a video that's going to explain all about the program. Again, that's getherhooked.com. And the best part about it is it's not going to break the bank at all. It's not something that you're going to have to invest hundreds and hundreds of dollars into. No, it's very affordable. I've made it easy for everyone to get. So again, get more information at getherhooked.com. Now today I'm talking about the oldest profession in history, or at least that's what people have said. Prostitution. It is one of the oldest professions. Women and maybe men too. I'm not really sure. I've been doing it for hundreds and hundreds of years, maybe even thousands of years. And it's something that is still prevalent in today's society. Now, here's what you're not going to be hearing from me today. I'm not going to be going into my moral standpoint of prostitution and whether or not it should be legal. This is all about teaching you what to do in order to attract more women and how to have a life that is going to bring more women into it. Remember, this podcast is all about teaching you how to get more women into your life in the best way possible. So I'm not going to be standing on my soapbox here going over that, but I am going to be going over some opinions on how prostitution can affect your dating life and how it can affect your views on women and how it can affect you getting into the best relationships. So that's what we're going to be going over today. And really, this has been something that I was inspired to do a podcast on because I've talked to a lot of clients in the past, 8 years of me doing this coaching. And there have been many clients that have told me that they've seen prostitutes. In fact, I've talked to guys who tell me that they see prostitutes because, well, obviously they want to have sex, but they're not getting sex anywhere else. And as you, a guy who's listening to this right now, I'm sure you understand what it's like to be a horny guy, maybe even a lonely horny guy, and not able to get sex. Now, there is one thing that's going on right now. We have the internet with a lot of porn at our fingertips, and it's very easy to access that and lots of it. So I wonder if that's helping some guys. But some guys feel so lonely and so helpless, and they want the affection from an actual female. They don't want to just see it on the screen. So they go out and they get a prostitute. And I know a lot of guys also who said, you know what, I'm sick and tired of being a virgin. It's time for me to finally have sex. And then they get a prostitute. So I've heard a lot about this, and I thought, let's do an episode on this. Let's talk about this. Let's talk about what this is doing to guys and how that the fact that this is so easily available to guys, what is it doing to their dating lives, and what is it doing to their sex lives. So like I said, some guys go to prostitutes because they don't have any other woman there. And I feel for these guys. I do. I mean, listen, if I was a 30-year-old virgin, 40-year-old virgin, I would probably contemplate doing that too. I get it. I actually understand that. It's tough being that old and not having ever had sexual relations with a woman. And there seems to be a lot of pressure on guys who don't have sex that often and want to perform their best with the girl that they're finally with. So they go to prostitute. They hire one and they can have that sex. Now, I've never been to a prostitute before. This is the honest to God truth. I've never been to a prostitute, so I can't sit here and tell you what it's like or what the process is like. I'd like to explain all that to you. I do have an idea because I do know some people. Like I said, I've had clients who've gone to a prostitute before, and so I know the gist of it. I know that you can go on certain websites and you can find them. There are definitely places that you can easily get one of those girls over to your place. I don't know the exact process. I imagine they're going on the websites, getting them to come over, and then somehow end up having sex. I don't know how soon it happens. I don't know if you end up hanging out with the girl. I don't know how the business transaction is. But the point is I don't really need to know any of that stuff for today's podcast, and I don't need to know the process or the details of that. All I need to know is that there are guys who are going out there and doing this. And again, I'm not going to be commenting on here on whether or not this is ethically or morally wrong or any of that stuff. What I want to talk about today is the potential dangers of going to a prostitute and not some of the ones that you probably are thinking about, right? Of course, you might be thinking about the fact that they're dirty and they're drug addicts. Not all of them, I'm sure a lot of them are, and you can get STDs and all that stuff, right? That's some of the obvious things, but there's other dangers here in terms of you going and seeing a prostitute. And the first one is this. What happens when you hire a prostitute is that you're basically hiring a prostitute almost like you're ordering a pizza. Okay, so this is one of the problems. You're hiring a prostitute like you're ordering a pizza. So, the pizza doesn't really have feelings. You just kind of get the pizza, you hand the money, you eat the pizza, you call it a day. It's kind of similar to prostitution, in a sense. I know that there's other forms of prostitution. There's like this thing called the girlfriend experience, where it's someone you hire to be sort of your girlfriend. That's a big problem too. We'll talk about that in a minute. But basically, what this is doing is this is objectifying women. You're objectifying women. Now, beyond the fact that I do think that is morally wrong. We don't want to be objectifying women. Women should be equal to us. I believe that men and women are equal and should be treated equal and have all the same opportunities. All that stuff, okay? But what I'm really talking about here is viewing a woman as not like a human being. You're viewing her like an object, objectification. And again, I think this is wrong because they're not objects. They are people, very much people just like you, right? And beyond that, what happens is you take this idea and you bring it into your dating life and you start to treat women like objects, like sex objects, like it's someone to put your dick inside of. It's just like a hole to put your penis inside of, and there's nothing else really going on there. And I know you might be thinking, Trip, you're being a little dramatic here. Well, I'm actually not, because this is what happens. Now, I know you who are listening, chances are a lot of you who are listening maybe have not seen a prostitute, and I'm not judging you if you have. But what I'm saying is there are dangers here, and objectification is one of them. And what happens is you bring that idea into your regular dating and you treat her like a whole. Well, that's going to make it very hard for you to connect with a woman. That's going to be very hard for you to talk to a girl like she's a human being, to empathize with her, to treat her like an equal, to treat her like she is actually alive, a human. And that's going to be difficult for you to build attraction. It's going to be difficult for you to learn how to build attraction, how to connect with other women if you're just treating them like objects. And also, of course, you're really adding to this idea of rape culture. Now again, sounds dramatic, but it's true. The minute we start treating women like objects is the same time we treat them like shit. And then that can lead to the idea of basically having your way with any woman you want, which I do believe that is wrong. So yes, I believe that it is wrong to treat women like objects, and when you hire a prostitute, you're basically doing that. And you're probably not thinking about it that way if you're ordering one. You're probably not thinking about it. You're just saying, Trip, I just need to do it. I crave sex, and I'm horny, and I can't get girls. And what else am I supposed to do? Well, I'll tell you what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to work harder. Okay, I want you to work harder. I don't want you to be hiring a prostitute in substitution of talking to women and actually connecting with the woman and having sex with them and not having to pay for it. I think you can agree with me on this one. Wouldn't it be that much better? That much better if you ended up meeting a woman that you could actually get on a level with, who likes you for you, you like her for her, and you guys have sex together. Now, I'm not saying that every single girl you talk to needs to turn into a relationship. I think casual sex is just fine. I think casual sex is just fine, and going out there and having sexual experiences with many women. No, you don't have to get on a deep romantic relationship with every single girl you meet, but you do need to treat them like human beings, because that's what they are. And it will be so much more rewarding to you. Now, I know if you're listening and maybe you've hired a prostitute, or maybe you never have, and you're thinking, well, I don't know what that's like. Let me be the first to tell you, it is incredible. It's incredible to be able to be sexual with a woman and open and vulnerable and connect with her and not have to pay her for her to open her legs. So what are the dangers of hiring a prostitute? Well, like I sort of mentioned a little bit ago, yes, STDs, even them robbing you, them screwing you over, scamming you. There's all those potential risks of hiring a prostitute. But also, there's the risk of you getting so into the fact that you can just hire sex and order sex like a pizza that you never really try to work it out in person. You never try to take action, for example, on some of these podcasts, right? I have over 150 episodes, and if you're listening to this a year later, I probably have more. And I have a YouTube channel with tons of videos, and I have a new program called Hook that just came out that can teach you how to do this. There are so many resources for you to learn how to attract women and how to have sex with a woman that you don't have to pay for, that wants to have sex with you. This is available to you. So I'm trying to convince you on today's episode to not hire a prostitute in replacement of learning how to socialize, how to talk to girls, and how to connect. It's going to be very, very damaging to you and damaging to your social life. There's a lot of guys out there who have plenty of money. I've heard stories all the time of older men. I'm talking about men in their 40s, 50s, 60s, and maybe you're one of them. Older men who, just give up on the whole process of trying to find a woman. They just want to make it easy for themselves. And you know what? They're in their 40s, 50s, 60s. They have money at this point. They've saved up and they've been working for a long time, so they have the money to do it. They have the resources to do it. So why not do it? It's so easy, right? Make a phone call, send a text message, and boom, you're going to have sex within, the hour. And then it's done. But what's going to happen to you at this point is she's going to leave. You'll feel somewhat satisfied because you were able to have some sex, but ultimately you're going to feel more alone. It's going to feel more painful for you to know that you have to use money to do that. And again, I empathize with you. I really do. I understand that it's hard for you right now to talk to girls, to get dates, to get that relationship going, to find the girl that you want. I get it. I fucking get it. It's hard. I wouldn't have a job that exists. I wouldn't create all this content and all these podcasts and channels if this was easy. It's hard. That's why there's so much information out there on this. But I want you to take advantage of that. If you end up seeing a prostitute and you see how easy that is, you're not going to want to work hard. And if you've heard this before, I'll say it again. When something is worth it, you're going to have to work hard for it. Nothing in life is easy, even in this case. Even in this case, yeah, you do have to put work into it. And a lot of guys, they also think, why do I have to put work into it? Why do I have to be that guy? Why was I so unlucky? Why was I so unlucky to not have the social skills? Or you may think that you're ugly or you're deformed. And you may think, I was born with this and it's not fair. And Trip, why can't I just be able to get sex easily? Why can't I just hire someone to help with that because I have needs too. And it's all unfair. Well, let me tell you something. Life can be unfair. You're not born with a winning lottery ticket in your hand. Things take work. Now you may be thinking how difficult it is to do this and how unfair life has turned out for you. But I bet you that there's a lot of great things in your life that you have that other people don't. And that's just the world, and that's just how it goes. So you can sit back and you complain and you can be the victim and you can say, there's nothing left for me and life sucks and I got the bad card. I got dealt a bad hand. And that's fine. You can do that. You can do that and you can have fun with your bad hand and you can waste money on paying for sex. Or you can come over on this team. On the team that is putting a little bit of effort into meeting girls that are going to blow your mind away. Because it is pretty mind-blowing when you have a connection with a girl, one who likes you for you and is not someone you have to pay for. It's pretty amazing. So I'm not saying work hard for nothing. I'm saying work hard to enjoy life at its fullest, to enjoy human-to-human interaction. Let this be the episode to convince you that it's a bad idea to use prostitution in substitute of actually meeting girls that want to meet you. Should you use a prostitute to lose your virginity? What about those guys out there that just say, Trip, I just want to do it just once so it's not so awkward? No. Join the team. Join the team that had to go through the awkward process of losing their virginity to a girl that you didn't have to pay for. Have that experience. Don't cheat. Don't cheat your way. Because you're going to have to go through that awkward experience either way. Having sex with a prostitute, I'm just going to throw a wild guess out there. It's going to be a lot different than having sex with a woman that's not a prostitute. So either way, you're going to be setting yourself up for some sort of awkward experience because you're going to be with a girl who really wants to be with you. So let's not cheat and let's not go that route. Just accept the fact that it's going to be a little weird the first time you have sex. It's going to be a little weird. It's going to be a little weird with the one girl. It's going to be a little weird with that one girl you meet. So what? So you'll meet more girls and it's going to get better and better and better and better. Okay, you don't need to hire someone to get over that awkward process. And I use air quotes as I say that awkward process of losing your virginity. No, go through it. Experience it. In fact, enjoy it. Enjoy that moment of awkwardness. So you get to really understand what it feels like. All these great experiences in life. And it's not just the great experiences in life that are good, but it's the bad ones too that are just part of it. Those first times that you make a mistake or you fuck up or you make things awkward, it's all part of your story. So go for it instead of having to pay for it. And again, if you need help with this, do not forget that you have resources at your fingertips. And of course, you have one of the best resources, my new program, Hooked, at getherhooked.com. And that is going to be a step-by-step course that's going to take you all the way from how to build attraction with a woman that you first meet literally anywhere to getting her hooked on you, to getting her responding to your text messages, giving you her number, and wanting to have sex with you. And guess what? You're not going to have to pay to have sex with her. No, it's going to be free. Okay? So that is what you're going to learn in the program. To get more details, check out getherhooked.com. And I know we went a little soapboxy today. We did. I kind of gave some of my opinions on what you need to be doing to really, really get amazing at meeting women. And like I said, it's not by hiring a prostitute. So, hope that helps. Can't wait to see you next week on an episode that you're not going to want to miss. So, stay tuned. Thanks again. Check out Hooked at getherhooked.com. Peace.